is to give out our voices, to make sure that our voices, the victims' voices, are heard by the government, by the CSOs, and by the international community, as well as the partners that we are dealing with, these various stakeholders, including the CSOs. So to start with, I would want to call upon Mr. Jallo, Adama Jallo, to make a welcome remarks, to welcome all of us to this important press conference. Mr. Jallo, the floor is yours.
Remarks. I think we'll go through the program proper. Mr. Chairman and board members of the Gambia Center for Victims of Human Rights Violation, Chairman, Board of Directors of Tango, although I have not seen him, but I think he's represented. Chairman of the Human Rights Commission as well, represented here. Staff of the Victim Center, victims and their respective family members present. Representatives of CSOs, NGOs, UN system, local and international partners. Members of the press, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, all other protocols respectively observed. I wish to take this opportunity to welcome you all to this press conference, which is as a result of the permit issued by the Inspector General of Police to the APRC party to stage a protest demanding the return of the former President Yahya Jammeh. Mr. Chairman, the Victim Center has been working to ensure that victims are made a priority in the transitional justice process, and that is the right and their rights and protection as well. We have been consistently working to ensure that victims are not re-traumatized by the transitional justice process. Mr. Chairman, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, you may recall that the Gambia went through 22 years of dictatorship within which Gambians and non-Gambians alike were tortured, raped, killed, victimized in so many ways. On the 16th of January 2020, a political party which had enabled former President Yahya Jammeh and which is in blatant denial of the human rights violation he committed, staged a peaceful protest after being granted a permission by the Inspector General of Police. This protest, in our opinion, was not just to mock victims, but all Gambians and non-Gambians alike. Furthermore, it was highly inconsiderate and insensitive to the sufferings that victims went through in the Jammeh rule. By giving the APRC a permit to demand the return of Jammeh, they have been allowed to undermine all the transitional justice process in the Gambia. Mr. Chairman, the Gambia Center for Victims of Human Rights Violation will never sit back and allow victims of the 22 years Jammeh rule to be mocked at. We will continue to advocate for the rights of victims. We will continue to collaborate with local, regional, and international partners to ensure that the Never Again slogan is a reality. I wish to take this opportunity to extend our sincere thanks and appreciation for all the support we have received in making this occasion a success. I want to thank you all for your kind attention.
So, Mr. Jallo, for that welcome remarks. We have to set this again. Okay, thank you, Mr. Jallo, for those welcome remarks. I think we already heard from Mr. Jallo why we need a press conference. Last week, there was this protest by the APRC, which all genuine Gambians are against, not only victims. So this has necessitated this press conference. It's one of the reasons why we are having this press conference. So now I will call upon the chairman of the Board of Directors of the Victim Center, Sirif Mohamed Kijera, who is going to give us an overview of the Victim Center from inception to date, how it started, how far we've gone, up to where at this present moment that we are. So, Honorable Chairman, the floor is all yours. Wait for the mics, please.
For victims of human rights violation, representative of the National Human Rights Commission, victims, families and their representatives, member and representative of the CSO, Dr. Amarus Jammeh, Mahdi Jabate, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. 22 years of Yahya Jammeh and APRC brutal dictatorship, Gambians were subdued by a state security apparatus allegedly characterized by harassment, arbitrary arrest, torture, sexual violence and rape, extrajudicial killing and enforced disappearances. There was no respect for the rule of law, and the rule of law institutions in the Gambia faced deep-rooted governance challenges as a direct result of 22 years of APRC authoritarian rule. However, in the face of growing reports of atrocities and human rights violations being perpetrated by the state actors, many victims felt their voices were not being heard individually or collectively. The fall of Yahya Jammeh in December 2016 provided a welcome platform for the voices of victims to be heard, and the Gambia Center for Victims of Human Rights Violations, known as the Victim Center, was established in April 2017. The Victim Center provides the platform where victims can articulate their concerns for onward advocacy for redress in collaboration with both government, human rights institutions, the civic society engaged in the fight against impunity and for justice. It is 3 years since we ousted dictatorship and installed a government of the people. Until today, we continue to be confronted by the atrocities APRC party ever getting emboldened and shamelessly in denial of the atrocities of gross human rights violations committed by Yahya Jammeh and the APRC regime. The departure from power by the APRC regime has left our country dangerously polarized. Until there is justice for the violations against our people, the Gambia shall ever remain haunted and divided. Ladies and gentlemen, the victims' community appreciate the support and goodwill of the international community, UN Peace Building Office, ECOWAS, and the European Union, and most particularly, we recognize the steps taken by the government of the Gambia so far to address this violation with the setting up of the TRRC, legal and rule of law institutional reform agenda. However, we believe the time has come for each and every citizen to stand up to demand more practical measures to be undertaken by our government to bring Yahya Jammeh to justice. The Attorney General and Minister of Justice restored the hope and confidence of Jammeh's victims that justice shall be served. Yahya Jammeh and all those that bears the greatest responsibility of committing human rights violations and abuses will be brought to justice. The Justice Minister says, I quote, "Make no mistake about it, barring any findings or recommendations of the TRRC to the contrary, if former President Yahya Jammeh ever comes back to this country, he will face immediate arrest and charges of the most serious kind. And no amount of irresponsible idle talk or political brinkmanship will prevent this from happening. He will be subjected to an accountability process like any ordinary accused person in this country." The Attorney General spoke with conscience and sincerity. The Victim Center highly welcomed and applauded the government's strong position. If there is anyone out there still hallucinating with the ghost of psychophancy, you can gather your kin and protest from here to Futabalia. And no amount of irresponsible idle talk and political brinkmanship will prevent
Jallo Kanilai to be chained in circles and brought before his victims to face justice. There is no denying the fact that a lot of the truth about human rights violations that happened in the Gambia between July 1994 and January 2017 has been unveiled through the TRRC public hearing. There is a strong sense of national ownership. We have faith and belief in the TRRC. The families of those killed and tortured under Yahya Jammeh and APRC brutal regime will not abide by Jammeh returning a free man without being brought to justice. The Victim Center and the members of the Gambia civil society wish to stage a massive nationwide march for justice on Saturday, 25th January 2020 throughout the Gambia to awaken citizens to their national duties to stand up for justice and urge the government of Adama Barrow to step up its efforts to bring Yahya Jammeh and all those that bears the greatest responsibility of human rights violations to justice. I thank you all.
Statement. Just to add to what he has just said about the Victim Center, there are services that we provide to our victims, and these include medical services, educational services to victims and their families as well, and we also support in terms of psychosocial support. We have a psychosocial support unit here, where victims who need psychosocial support come for that service. So in addition, we have a Microsoft loan that we give out to victims in small terms. It's a small amount of money that we give out to victims to at least uplift their status. And this is a revolving, some sort of a revolving fund. So these are some of these activities, services that we provide to our victims. Thank you again, Mr. Chairman. Now, I would want to call upon Aissatou Jammeh, who is going to read the press statement proper. Aissa, the floor is all yours.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jammeh, and thank you very much, everyone who came today to attend this the press conference of the Victim Center. Chairman and board members of the Gambia Center for Victims of Human Rights Violation, the National Coordinator and staff of the Victim Center, victims and your respective family present here today, government representatives, representative of CSOs, NGOs, UN system, local and international partners, members of the press, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and all protocols respectively observed. Good morning to you all. This is indeed a very sad moment, and as well as a moment of relief for the entire victims community and the Gambia as a whole. It is a sad moment considering the fact that the Gambia is going through a truth-seeking and reconciliation process. The APRC protest demanding the return of the former President Jammeh to continue living in the Gambia as a free citizen is beyond mockery to the plight of the victims. As evident to the testimonies at the TRRC, the same political party that enabled Jammeh to stifle the good-given voices of all Gambians tortured, maimed, killed our loved ones, and sexually abused our women for the past 22 years was given a permit to protest for the return of the most cruel and inhuman dictator who victimized the entire Gambia. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the victims of the past regime are also enjoying a moment of relief. This is a result of the statement delivered by the Attorney General, the Minister of Justice, Honorable Abubakar Tambadou, yesterday at the opening of the 2020 legal year at the High Court in Banjul. In his statement, the Honorable Minister has assured victims that if Yahya Jammeh ever comes back to this country, he will face immediate arrest and charges of the most serious kind. And no amount of irresponsible ideal talk of political brinchmanship will prevent this from happening. He will be subjected to an accountability process like ordinary accused person in the country. The minister has further assured the victims that it can no longer be a rule out that criminals against humanity have committed in the Gambia between 1994 and January 2017 under the former President Jammeh, and those who will be identified by the TRRC will face certain prosecution in the most serious form. We thank the Honorable Minister and the government for reassuring, and we look forward to the day when all the violations committed against our people are accounted for and the perpetrators brought to justice. In addition, while we appreciate the support of the international community and also recognize the step taken by the government so far to address these violations with the setting up of the TRRC, we look forward to the support of all CSOs, NGOs, and national and international partners in ensuring that the recommendations of the TRRC at the end of its mandate are implemented by Barrow's administration without selective justice and favoritism to enhance the healing process that we all are yearning for in the New Gambia. In the same vein, we are strongly recommending that the government imposes a ban or suspend the APRC party until such a time that the ongoing TRRC is concluded and its recommendations implemented to enhance a smooth transitional justice process for us to reconcile and unite as people and as a nation. Finally, Mr. Chairman, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, to further press on our demands for Jammeh to face justice, the Victim Center, with the support of CSOs and other well-wishers, will organize a peaceful march, a justice march to pressurize the Gambian government to prosecute the former president, Yahya Jammeh, for gross human rights violation perpetrated by him and his henchmen. This peaceful protest will be held on Saturday, 25th of January, 2020, from Westfield Monument to Bouva Zone, where statements will be made and our demands presented to the government. In conclusion, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to reassure all Gambians that this Victim Center will continue to work with all relevant partners to facilitate justice for victims through national, regional, and international mechanisms to ensure that peace continues to prevail in the country to enhance TRRC Never Again slogan. I thank you all for your kind attention.
Taken to court. It's very reassuring to the victims. When we had this statement yesterday, it really reassured us. It's very reassuring, and we appreciate it, and we want to thank the minister for that statement. The other point that I want to buttress on is the March for Justice. We are organizing a March for Justice this Saturday on the 25th of January, and it will kickstart from Westfield and will end at the Bouva Zone, where speeches will be made, and we will deliver our petition or our demands to the government's representative. So we all call upon everybody, all the media houses, all victims, all genuine Gambians to support this gesture. We would also want to take the opportunity to thank some of the donors. People have already started giving funds to make sure that this March for Justice takes place. So we want to appreciate their donations and also thank the CSOs for their support in this gesture. So now we will open the floor for questions. Yes.
Thank you very much for
loud so that we
Thank you very much for the press conference. My question is
from which media house?
Gainako Online News.
Okay.
My name is Yusuf Taylor. My first question is, you've used the word genuine Gambians twice now. What exactly do you mean when you say genuine Gambians? And my second question is regarding the banning, the call for APRC to be banned. On what basis are you calling for this ban to be placed on the APRC?
Okay. Thank you very much. Also try to attend the second one as well and be supported by other members of the High Table and the board members present. I think when we say genuine Gambians, we presume that the protest that has happened last Sunday on the 16th is presumed to be a mockery, because the same party that committed all the violations that we are talking about, that we are crying of today, are allowed to come out to protest, to say that the guy who was responsible, the main perpetrator, who it was the former head of state, Jammeh, they are demanding for him to come back and live in the Gambia as a free citizen. To us, is a mockery. That is why we say we deserve the support of genuine Gambians. People who are against Jammeh coming to live here as a free man, just as an ordinary citizen. Things have gone beyond that. The atrocities that the testimonies at the TRRC are evident enough to show that yes, we need justice. The victims need justice. So we cannot be fighting for justice at the same time APRC coming forward to provoke us. This is why we said, for the time being, we are not saying let this be banned forever, but for the time being, let them suspend or ban APRC. Because why? When the APRC government, the former APRC government, when they come into power, they ban the PPP, which they overthrew. After some time, PPP came back into the political arena. So this is exactly what we are demanding for. Let them suspend the APRC, give time for the TRRC and other transitional justices to conclude, then they can lift the ban for them to come back. But investigations cannot be going on. At the same time, they are coming out provoking people. This is why we say, definitely, we're requesting for the ban of this APRC, or at least let them be suspended for a time period. I think if I leave anything, exactly.
Ordinarily, I don't think anyone is opposed to the APRC carrying out its activities as any other political party. But we feel that calling on Yahya Jammeh to return and denying that any atrocities had happened under his regime is a threat to our peace and stability. It's a threat to peace. So even if it's allowed to continue to operate, which may be all right, it has to be within certain bounds. If you allow the APRC to engage in the type of activity and they get emboldened, that could get other sides to rise up, and would be a threat to national security. So even if they can operate as any other party, getting support and trying to get candidates to win electoral victory, that may be fine. But there has to be some boundary. And we feel the type of activity they engaged in is a threat. And if we had advanced information about the permit being issued to them, we would have organized a counter demonstration, because there is no way victims and civil society groups are going to allow a return to the status quo ante, where we would all end up in exile as yourselves, life in exile and trying to chase. It's going to be an insult to continue to call for Jammeh's return. That's essentially what we're talking about, not necessarily banning them in engaging in the ordinary type of political activity.
Okay, so when...
I the press reporter, I do write for Freedom and Care News.
Okay, you're welcome.
A follow-up question. Will you reconsider your position if the APRC came out and apologized to Gambia?
Apologize for the protest?
For the atrocities that were committed under the 2-decade-long regime.
I think this... our colleague is responding. As is, yes.
Well, I did put the same question to the deputy party leader, and they are still in denial.
Will he be arrested?
Well, yeah.
Okay, okay, I'll allow the chairman to respond. This.
The case with Jammeh is quite different from Sana Sabali. There is a Jammeh commission which has already concluded their findings. They have made a recommendation to the government. There was a government white paper, and the government has already started selling Jammeh's assets. I think Jammeh actually should have been issued an international arrest warrant to face justice for economic crimes. That in itself has been a conclusive, done deal on the side of the Jammeh Commission. With the atrocities committed by the APRC under the directives of President Jammeh, well, he should be given opportunity to come to the TRRC and testify like any other person. One is presumed innocent until proven guilty. So he should be given the opportunity like any other alleged perpetrator to come forward and testify. But with Jammeh's case, I think Jammeh is a special alleged perpetrator. He is already been indicted by the Jammeh Commission, and he's seriously implicated by the evidence and testimonies before the TRRC Commission. So I think Jammeh to walk freely in the Gambia, that would be unacceptable to any victims in the Gambia. That would be unacceptable to any reasonable thinking Gambian to have Yahya Jammeh walk freely in the source of this country. I think that would be unacceptable. He has to be handcuffed, put on chains, and taken to Mile to wait for his trial. Thank you.
And I'm glad Abdullah John is here. He took the photo of me in handcuffs and chains being dumped in the back of a truck during the Jammeh era. So why do you think Jammeh is so special that with all of these atrocities that he's alleged to have committed, could just come here to be a farmer, as he says? But the main reason why I'm here is to call on all, particularly our various civil society organizations. Mahdi is here. He represents all of the civil society organizations. I'm a member, founding member of Coalition for Change the Gambia. And we are going to be actively involved in this march, and we are calling on all to come and show support. This is very significant. We have to show numbers. We have to show that there are so many people who are disgusted by what is going on, that the APRC actually have been emboldened by the government. But we appreciate the statement coming from the Attorney General, and we hope the statement would be matched by actions. But the key for us is to ensure that there's a huge participation at the march, and that we send a powerful message, not just to Jammeh and his supporters, but to the international community, to the government, that we mean business. There's no way we're going to accept a return to the type of regime we had in this country, and we are not going to move into exile anymore. We'll do everything we can to make sure that there's justice. Thank you.
Okay, yes. Let's have a lady. Okay.
So the first question is, hearing the voice note Jammeh had with Rambo Jata, it seems like he's very confident and he really wants to come back to the Gambia. Because I'm not sure if anyone knows that I do something would really want to come back in a place where you are wanted. Do you think there's any chance Jammeh getting away with everything, with the crimes that he's been accused of, knowing that he's very confident to come back to the Gambia? And the second question is, how do the victims feel? Because I was at the protest, and when I asked the members of APRC, they were saying this in Wolof that Kula Bugare, so I made chance Bugare go back. So they felt like these people Jammeh killed, or alleged that he killed, wanted to kill him. That's why he had no choice but to retaliate or kill, fight back. So how does this make the victims feel? These members of APRC saying that it was like a self-defense, basically.
To attempt to answer the last one, which is the issue of, it was a matter of retaliation from people attempting to kill Jammeh, and he retaliated to kill them. I think these are coming from people who are very, I don't know how to categorize them, unrealistic, unreasonable. Because considering the testimonies that are going on at the TRRC regarding the various killings, the various torture that has happened during the Jammeh regime, one cannot just conclude that it was just one incident, they wanted to kill him and he retaliated. It can only be quoted when in terms of the attempted coup of 30th December. There you can say, yeah, it was some sort of a retaliation. But all the others, it was not retaliation. And we've heard the testimonies. We've seen the people the very perpetrators coming out to tell us how they did all that they did to people, to victims. And it happened at various different times at different areas. So all those cannot be retaliation, direct retaliation from Jammeh. They are just trying to provoke, as I stated earlier, that they are just trying to provoke us and nothing else.
I think that argument doesn't hold water. How was they trying to kill Jammeh, or the Jammeh's his own family members, or or the Ghanaians, the Nigerians? How were they trying to kill Jammeh? Plus the other part, I believe Jammeh's supporters may be delusional, but Jammeh is not that stupid to think he can just come in here, work as a free man, and then go on. He's much more calculating than that. He knows very well what awaits him here, regardless of what guarantees he gets from this government, the international community. He knows if he steps foot here, he will be prosecuted, but he's not going to come here and be a free man, definitely. And I'm sure he is aware of that.
Willingness of Jammeh trying to do, according to the audio he had with Rambo. I think he's just trying to play his cards, to maneuver, to get people to start protesting or so. But I'm quite sure Jammeh, if we send a chartered flight for him to come back today free of charge, he will decline it.
I think
decline it. Thank you.
I think
we're used to that type of attack. Some of you may recall when we were engaged in the civil society associations and CCG together with bankers. We managed to follow Yahya Jammeh and his representatives throughout the world, from Geneva to Brussels, New York, Washington, D.C. And because they can't figure out how we managed to do that, they had all kinds of theories. And this is the same thing, basically to try to undermine the effort that's going on. We are all very hardworking people. You named me, I teach at the university, I sell used cars, I, do all sorts of things, and Mahdi has been working with various organizations very successfully here. So we don't need all of those. In fact, some of us make contributions. You go to Gunjur, UDP, and so on, you would see that we are making personal contributions to those organizations, far more than what could be what we can get from any GoFundMe. So it's an attempt to just undermine our efforts, but we are focused on getting people to turn out, and we hope everyone shows up on Saturday and to send a powerful message. But we'll ignore, the noise. Only that you ask, that's why we are responding.
But some people argue that our constitution guarantees every Gambian the right to assemble, association, and other human rights as well, and under Section 25. So if you will ask the IGP to deny some citizens their constitutionally guaranteed right, don't you think you are going against the principles of democracy which we fought for?
Ends where my nose begins. So we may have all of those rights, but I know Mahdi will respond. Let's get Mahdi to respond.
Thank you. I've been one. Okay. I've been one person that have said that APRC has a right to protest, as Constitution Section 25. But you see, the right to protest, that is freedom of assembly, is not absolute. And so under Section 25, subsection 4, provides limitations that this right can be limited. And when you look at those limitations, it gives various reasons why the limitations could happen. One of them is public morality, and all of those things. I mean, Keba and Amadou mentioned, and Kijara here, the offensive nature of that protest. I mean, as they were protesting, somebody is sitting here, her father is dead. He's been killed by Jammeh. Somebody sitting here, her husband was shot dead. I mean, that is offending public morality. So on the basis of the Constitution, the IG could have denied the APRC to protest. And, they did not do that. All right? So there is absolutely, no violation of their right if they were denied to protest based on Section 25, subsection 4. Because that limitation is already there. They don't even have to refer to the Public Order Act. All they need to do is look at the Constitution, where that right is guaranteed, and the limitations provided for that right to be limited. So that provision is enough in the Constitution for the IG to have said, no, you cannot protest because your protest is against public morality. You are protesting at a time when Gambians, mothers, fathers, children, men and women are in their homes, in pain, in misery because they lost loved ones directly as a result of that regime. And that party that held that regime, because they were the ruling government for 22 years. So,
thank you. I hope that answers your question.
You organized a press conference in which you express your frustration and disappointment about the way the government is handling your issues, most especially the one with the junglers, one like Oya and Malik Jata. But recently...
Very important. At any point in time, the Victim Center will put up a press release should we are dissatisfied with what is happening. And that is why we are monitoring the ongoing process, transitional justice process. But yesterday, with the Minister of Justice statement, we've been proud, we've been reassured that it means if Yahya Jammeh, the outcome of the TRRC, prove that he should be arrested, and when he steps his foot to this country, he will be arrested. I think that's a plus for us, and that's what we are advocating for. Yeah. Yeah, the junglers, we also felt the same. We thought we should have been consulted. I think we had a meeting with the Minister of Justice when all these things happened. We thought the victims should have been consulted before the junglers were released on bail. And we had a meeting with him. In fact, he came here and he spoke at length the reason why they were relieved on bail. But still now, for us as a victim center advocating for justice, we weren't happy. We think further consultation should have been made. But now he has repaired the damage made initially by reassuring us that if Jammeh, who is the head of all these atrocities, comes back to this country, he will be arrested. One of the statements that you've mentioned, that are you talking about the capacity of the country being able to try Jammeh? Obviously, we know there are some flaws, there are some weaknesses. But yesterday, if you also listened to Bar's statement, he went further to say that they are in consultation with the UN system and other sister agencies to ensure that Jammeh's case would be looked at. And I think they are preparing themselves adequately to get the capacity built to be able to handle that. Once the TRRC finishes its hearing and recommendations are made, obviously by that time I'm hopeful that perhaps it may not be held in this country, perhaps it may be done somewhere else. But for us, it's justice. That's what we want. What we want is for Yahya Jammeh to be held responsible and to account for what he has done. Whether it's going to be done in this country, whether it's going to be done somewhere else. But I'm too sure that the government is getting prepared for that. Yeah. But the next question
Just to add regarding whether the country has the capacity to prosecute Jammeh. We all know that at this point in time, we don't have the capacity to do. That is why we have the Jammeh to Justice Ghana campaign going on. We all know that the former President Jammeh had massacred West African migrants, and then we had 24 Ghanaians that were included. So we have the Jammeh to Justice campaign currently doing so much work in Ghana. We've seen the recent press conference, and then the President of Ghana had made a statement with regards to the killings of the 44 Ghanaians. So if Ghana is able to extradite Jammeh from Equatorial Guinea, then Ghana has the capacity to prosecute him in Ghana. Then if the TRRC recommendations are ready and then concluded, then we will also file a lawsuit against him. So I think that's the answer your question. In Ghana.
Simply because you're popular. And so, we know he has support. I mean, even Hitler had some support. That's the case. But simply because he's believed to be popular should not make him immune from prosecution.
In fact, he is not popular.
We know.
He's a bunch of psychopaths.
exactly.
You may counter. About to be a counter protest of Jammeh. Don't you think of violating Jammeh's constitutional rights?
I think, let me respond to that. We are not protesting. We are protesting to press on the government to make sure that when he comes back, there is justice against the perpetration that he did.
But you lamented about the police issuing
A permit.
to APRC
Yes.
reporters
Mhm.
for demanding Jammeh to come back. You are not happy with that. It means you are not happy with Jammeh's comment. You challenging that. Don't you think you violating Jammeh's constitutional right to come back home?
I think it's not a matter of, we are not happy with the issue of the permit for them to protest. But protesting for the return of Jammeh to come and live as a free citizen is what we are against. And we also are protesting to make sure that, yes, we need Jammeh, but when he comes back, action must be taken by the government. I think that's our position. It's not a matter of we don't want the APRC to protest, but we see it as very premature. Investigations are ongoing. At the same time, they are protesting, let the perpetrator, the main perpetrator, let him come back immediately as possible. So that is what we are not happy with.
For APRC not to use that event or occasion as a fanfare, organizing their carabus and their whatever you call it, dancing,
mocking people,
you know, and caricaturing mockery to the victims. That is what we are against. But Yahya Jammeh can willingly come to the Gambia, you know, and face justice. It's not just to come and just walk scot-free, you know. He has to face some form of a justice accountability. But we are not against his right to return as a Gambian. He can return even tomorrow, you know. But Yahya Jammeh dare not to come to this country with on his own will, without being handcuffed and put on shackles. That is impossible. Yahya Jammeh is not even mad. He's not thinking of that.
Yes, at the back. Okay. Subsequent question.
Yes. So APRC were denied permit, but they later have it. Last minute, during the last minute, they had the chance to go out and protest. And still on the audio Yahya Jammeh had with Rambo, he was saying they're not coaliting with anyone. But let's say election is next year. What if Barrow decides to coalesce with APRC? Because they always boast about their crowd. What if Barrow decides to coalesce with APRC? Where does that leave the center?
Well, I don't think that is their political whatever decision. We cannot stop President Adama Barrow to form an alliance with APRC. He might as well go ahead today and form an alliance with the APRC. Well, that is up to Adama Barrow. But what we are protesting is justice and accountability for all the human rights violations that have been committed for the 22-year bad governance and brutality reign of Yahya Jammeh and APRC regime. That is what we are protesting.
Good, thank you. Yes. This.
Gambia. We don't need Yahya Jammeh. Let him stay as he is. We are suffering, we are tired.
Thank you. Very good. Very good.
These people, they are provoking us. You know, every time insulting us.
I think we had her very well. Very clear message. That's the feeling.
When we are suffering.
That's the feeling of all the victims.
We don't want to see Yahya Jammeh in this country anymore. We don't want to see him. He has no right to come back. He killed our husbands. Since 1994 up to date, we are tired. We are suffering. We don't want to see Yahya Jammeh anymore in this country. Those who are saying that Yahya Jammeh have right to come back, she has no right to come back in this country. She killed our parents. She killed our husbands. She killed our brothers. We are tired.
Okay, calm down, please. Calm her down. Umi, please, help. That's
Can you pass our water?
Example of the feeling of the victims. Please.
Just that I would want for him to come back and make sure he goes to Bambadinka too.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's what we want. What we want at the end of the day is justice. So that's just the buttress.
And you cannot expect darkness to drive out darkness. So I just want to know whether you have made an attempt with the ministry to work with international bodies and ensure that Jammeh
Well, as far as the process is concerned, we are currently in a truth-seeking process. That is the TRRC. And the mandate of the TRRC is 2 years. It's 1 year more for the mandate for the TRRC to conclude their mandate. So I'm sure there would be a recommendation from the TRRC at the end of their mandate. As the design of the TRRC is, they cannot run a parallel process with the truth-seeking process and the prosecution. So one process has to finish, then they can go into the prosecution. So going for, the extradition for Yahya Jammeh now, I think it is premature. It will preempt the work of the TRRC, the recommendations coming from the TRRC. So we are going to wait for the end of the mandate. When the TRRC put their recommendation, then we'll see how the government is going to handle that as far as prosecution is concerned.
Some people feel has been undermining the process of the TRRC. Going forward, what should the government, what do you believe the government should do to address such instances? That's my first question. When people are undermining openly the TRRC. Second question, the Jammeh Commission selective application of recommendations. We all had a statement that the lady made, Madam Ms. Jammeh, that they would like the recommendations of the TRRC to be implemented. But we've seen the Jammeh Commission has been implemented selectively. What's your perspective on this? Do you feel, how will that undermine eventually if the recommendations come? And my final question, the immunity clauses, or so-called immunity clauses in the 1997 Constitution, has created problems for the TRRC process. One such witness who should have come in and is currently facing trial. Now, what should happen with such clauses currently in the Constitution, which are a cause of concern and a cause of confusion, especially with the procedure of the TRRC? So I have 3 questions there, please.
I'll just respond to the last one. There is no, nothing like indemnity or immunity against prosecution for heinous crimes under international law. So even if those are valid provisions of our Constitution, perpetrators can never get away, from committing serious violations of human rights simply because they themselves, especially, put it in law. So the law, Gambian laws, would not protect anyone from, heinous crimes. The rest,
I think the next one is the recommendations of the TRRC. How do we ensure that they are implemented?
That's what I... I think with regards to the recommendation, my take on that is as a civil society group, and that's why we have that platform. Our platform is to advocate for justice. And more reason, that is why we also work closely with the CSOs, other CSOs and other local and international partners. And that's why we're watching government. It's not going to be business as usual. It's not going to be the same as with the Jammeh Commission. Once the Commission puts its recommendation to government and make it clear to us, and we know the recommendation, what it stipulates, we will now wait for the government. If there is any white paper exempting some people that we think should not be, honestly, it will not be business as usual. We will come in numbers. We will tell government that this is wrong, and it has to be readdressed. It has to be undo. They have to look at it. So that is our take as a civil society group. And I think that is the take of all other civil society. And that's why we are also watching.
Just to add to that, in addition to coming out in numbers, there are international organizations who are ready to partner with us to make sure that these recommendations are put into
consideration
and implemented.
So
the last one is the undermining of the TRRC.
Yeah. What should government do when such things occur?
That is why we are calling for government to take more practical measures. Towards some of these things that are unfolding. APRC continue to be in denial of all the facts and allegations of human rights violations that have been committed by confessed perpetrators themselves. So I think the government should come and take more practical measures to take into the account of anybody who comes out and try to caricature, trying to intimidate or harass or threaten victims. I think they should be brought to justice, taken to a court of law, because there is a provision under the TRRC Act on witness protection and those that are interfering with the TRRC process.
I just want to add on to those points. I think one of the issues that we are also going to discuss with the TRRC tomorrow. We've written to them, we want to sit with them, and I think these are some of the issues that will come as part of our meeting. That some of the clauses that are there, they should not be violated, and I think they are aware of that. And as a civil society, we will also make known to TRRC of all these issues when we meet with them tomorrow.
My name is Omar Dawo. I am from CCG Coalition for KD Gambia. We would like to know exactly the time you are starting the March pass, and also we would not like to know the material resources required for the event, because the cry of the lady to amplify efforts to make sure that we bring Jammeh to justice. So we will do everything as our moral obligation to make sure that Jammeh bring to justice. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for that question. The protest march is going to kickstart from Westfield, and we'll start converging at Westfield by 8 o'clock. Then maybe by 9:30, depending on the crowd, we'll depart Westfield, march towards Buffer Zone. Then at Buffer Zone, we'll be there up to 12. The estimated time is up to 12, from 8 to 12. That's the 8 to 1. Yeah, that's the time we put in the permit. Depending on the time they approve, that's our estimated time, from 8 to 1.
So,
not yet. The permit, the letter to the Inspector General of Police have been sent, and we're expecting to hear from him maybe before the end of the day or tomorrow. In fact, we have a meeting. We are meeting him tomorrow at 9 o'clock, just to follow up on the permit.
So
to make sure that it is
The
issued.
question is, what are the materials required?
Of course, logistic materials like T-shirts, banners, and placards, water, refreshment, what form of refreshment, any support that is forthcoming is welcome. PS system. We have transport reform or we need transportation for people coming from the up country, from the regions. So we anticipate that we'll have a large number of people coming from the regions. We also need support in those terms. So any philanthropist, anybody willing to assist, we have a GoFundMe, and we also opened an account yesterday, and which is in our forum. I think we can, Nyang, do you have the account number? Can we read it so that it goes to the media? Okay. The account number is called Gambia Victim Center Donation Account. It is at the Eco Bank, and the account number is 626-100-6363. Can I repeat that? The account number is Gambia Victim Center Donation Account, and the account number is 626-100-6363. So we call up on all Gambians to donate towards this noble gesture. I think I would want to call upon one of the victims to raise his concern, then we'll have the vote of thanks. then that will bring us to the end of the ceremony. Yes, sir.
And then you have right to adjust them. Because what Jammeh did here, 22 years. And then when they cut us on the 14th April 2016, my colleague is here, Kapubayo. Solo Sunday was there, Novenjai was there, Ibrahim Jaba was there. They picked 5 of us. They say we are the group. And then we want to make so to end and dissolve Jammeh's regime through conflict. And then that was not true. We are demanding electoral reforms. Bayo is here. They take us to NIA headquarters. This gentleman, I don't know his name, he was the one who was snapping us. What happened there? The former Interior Minister, Usman Sonko, must face justice. Usman Sonko is a crook. He say is a mbaifal. Munamom baifal.
Face.
Usman Sonko munamom baifal te soldari jonglay NIA dañ nekk di déglu ndigalam loolu la ñu wax mu ne anybody die -1 and he accused Amas Catholic Jammeh who called Jammeh 2012 or 2011 coalition to change Gambia and dictatorship. They accuse him, they accuse Banka Mani, they accuse Fatou Sow, Suntu Touré and Bamba Mas. They say an American embassy and British embassy, they say those who sponsor us to do this demonstration. I deny. I say no. Usman Sonko say they will kill me and then I will go 9 meters feet. This old man, they take the hammer and then they yada yanying sababekati. Yes, this man. Kafubayo, my chairman.
Can you see that? Can you show it to the people?
Kafubayo is
Yes. I can speak Mandinka language.
Okay, speak.
Anyway, tell them Kafubayo. Linka min foti. Bire muta. Yentangi ninke ko. Ital bente fara le so fenko benari lo ni kaniso puka min. Iko wara yente puka, wara yem fanko e ko ntela ndebe ala la bulu. Atol kal bente fal ning ala sonta ndebe fal ni wala man sunte de fal. Yaje. Ntela ko mo e fenko te mbusa ni ole itele ni bekat. Ya bejo one time ni yaje. One time mi konko be fala ko e haribi. Ale nyol kat bante malala ko mo al banke alati. Ni yem min fo. Yem bulo ken ni yem min fo. Definitely you be nyanta radio seasonally. Because you quite been told for until Kabiri wo wuraro yen teriba. Deman fenkan rekodo kote ge wo suto before so mo 12 o'clock.
Anata nyaayele.
Sai ye pira sinkol kana wuli. E ka foko woya Jammeh naja. Ay firida. E kan tol mo. Libe tambla te fango dalante ke amanol. Libe tambla dale be boku lebe ko mo be fa. Sinna sai ko ya Jammeh naja. Tolbe sonna walba. Ornana tolbe fala bari. Nana jan tolbe fala bari be attaque. Billahi wallahi tallahi. Nakuma dante wala.
Thank you.
So diamo mendi diamo manyena mela ya Jammeh hani ya bula kido kono ya fay ata jila banyul anu ya Jammeh Usman Sonko ko ya Jammeh have so called better power of attorney executive immunity 1997 constitution wala fenki ntol be nyanta falale nogoy kayeta bu kamalu yankuba kolifana molo mi alonko ako ntol ay accuse ko we are criminals anu ntol kamin demand a clear battle anu na party leader amanke ko mbo political focal na party leader makalam this madi jobate ya accuse la ko itolle ntol sponsor pour ngata siloka ndama madi jobate long amaskadi jane ngalone because 2012 tisado min print yen fenke nying ala koliko do je ka fa e matu ke jallo ani ndey tafa sosé I don't know them e ko wolle ntol sponsor nte nga deny ngoy no e ko na parti leader bi solo sendeng ya lon ka jité clé ya nyimbulo la kati limbali ya ni tawla ya ko solo sende ya bouté ya sok kuran wala ya fenam bamba dinka aka kente eten gio mangi so do mbambi ndila ya sindi sumna ko na ninte no ko njay na ray mboni sumna ko no bamba dinka Usman Sonko kalo aka foko jammu hotelo mi a jesu sula le kewel ko ani nyino lundo fo imposing bayo fele mando nata ko mo le ko alkana nyin kino dom amam pede imposing anu dia atusi Usman amaskati jane ko wolen tol sponsor to go out to the street so lo senda din tan ken yara tata alkiyama yentol fure pour nga amat bato fo nga da bato fo ngambang nga oje jalo to fo ngambang nga usen da bato fo ngambang fatma tamba jandi semti ngamba ule ke mbute I control momo fata may no suwa yesolo sa dem mbute sa banya fata wo ino na mo to wasala ya Jammeh alankana alaway na yimbo ko I most part anyata gosi special lamaron fana poison la bula wona ko ya dale ila poison because of this brother Sekou Sabali former vice president woto victim center ki jere important ale ali nyum kuma di mad jobate mbe tentula mba jallo tentula mba press media be tentula ngol nyantare tarle fom fu banko kan APRC bi e bo democracy le enjoy kan kunum momo finte kemuta ambi kemuta lebero
very good
alimbe nga finti large number ngata ngane soldati itandi ko ya Jammeh hanana ta jam ay tara bulto ya samba mile 2 military confinement ya samba je bawo bamba dinka man soto koten nada bamba dinka mango nyanda samba la wol inon tara ko modin tara ko
barka ya
kosina ko e wala dia kosina e wala dia andu birabe fara ndu men ala diso ay wala tolo fono so manda ay wala tolo fono birin leptante jam manda mimma ko Dakar tata Dakar ko ita mutan wala
time okay okay last okay go ahead afo mande kakoto
ya Jammeh na ya kama ni banko ka
yeah no we need it
na ya Jammeh kama ni banko ka mammo ko bande flo bitano mamal tu ben bunda ke sona je ndela abou tiate me ala ko me se me mbute westfield fay sunkati asiata sanji sabata hanbi na dimbali ka baguda be mbalo nuka dai babalu li
aka men boto nyalo ndela modu mi alon ko makade ndela ka mako e ka balo fango kuwaye
ya Jammeh alfero ka drop ko lu ya to la
pirina wolun tumbo
ala sala gado hanbi meta mo la ni sim baja ka muka fudo sino fafano ko ko multa sim ko dala ka foro de baytu wala super tiyada alkabe ya de to balda ja ala sabla afem nga balu ya ko asara ba
I think it's healthy to have this kind of atmosphere. I mean, the victims themselves manifest their pains, and that is why, as we speak, some of them are healing, and the healing takes time for the person. So that is why having Yahya Jammeh to come again is just like getting the old wounds out. So let's have the vote of thanks by Patrick.
Arrange the mics, please. Arrange the mics.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the High Table, representative of human rights organization, members of the civil society, media personnel, victims and their respective families. On behalf of the Victim Center, I would like to say a very big thank you for taking your precious time to come and attend the press conference organized by the Victim Center. We are very much grateful. Right now, I'm very emotional that I cannot speak more. But nevertheless, I thank you. I thank all of you for coming. We are grateful. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Mobile, media, anybody from the media who left?
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Na ita dum to
Aisha Damfa.
Aisha Damfa ngaje ko birindi amo beke ka. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Na ita to dum
Aisha Damfa.
ngaje ko birindi amo beke ring ifane yela tembe da itandi yela niku ya itandi. So ntelafte nyinin kala mina yaje mbela ala mansa kunda fenko wato ay mun kolya kule ke tala mi yalo ne bi fane yela ni ku ya tandi
nte kundi wonte nte ni na dimbayal ya Jammeh siyo kono birin sanji muang anim fula birin a commencé sango menna foka bola fo lu menna bota je nte ni man toro drone mu ya Jammeh kuola kat first of all nkema amanda ha mo soto la kuoptu comme opposition lam anan man contrat ko akole nun kenu jawra man sakunda kabiri e coup d'état botala ikoko abe UDP wolu ngani mbite mi nana man ibuka do ku diara ibuka tusi diara na danyi ngo abe Allah taala man solo bulu man saba man sakalanke bar hanna tarako afinti talata ta min tole isa nte sinya saba ika mutan koma ika samba na dimbayal koto ibuka dulalo do tata fotili tang ani lulu nyama loakan ndingol nyama loakan sunkaro kono wo sunkaro kono ntel fangol kan fango danyi ning anim fom na sunkutu ba bitanke wala kam makoy wati do yamay
say na ndalofte ni ikema atotodu aning ay mo place le sotonu ya Jammeh man sa
anana man place soto ji ya la mini maron ana man place soto ji abe UDP
UDP atada no UDP parti la kor
ana man tra man sakundatu
say mbiring ak tumbo kira atela saya sabatita minela
al saya sabatita min wala mu ye posino le dial posino ye wala diala
ya posin muntole
posini mail tuule kabri lume ne yemuta ini solo sande wolu solo fate kabri afata fole kaya nyinin kamune la itele mu famous la maronti ya nyinin kamune fa ko ya nyinin kamune folola biri ba nyinin inana man biri wato ya nyasiti foi pareta ika itele mu famous la maronti UDP bari solo sande nga faale barni ala kiti ambe min keletela ite bolonnal ko wato le mu ye bulota bulu ko ndim fula ya ta ye posino kabala ya dunda kan kon kabiri o dunda kan kono mal tu akatu fono dronela je fo al murtatu kum fanan anya fana problème o soto iko mita opère la iko atekela fo nga loya jumalle ka atekela mal tun kolu ikatekela iko loyal ko ikani bula ni sita itanya opère mbije nata ta loyata wo loya nata ta fanan kabiri nga loyata iko birinta ta kiti dulato iko ko atanya opère la mbije dorong wo sinin ne dorong nte bije do ngama iko ko ya samba kani fi leptano to mbo kani fi leptano to sojar fula prison fula ena killing mo kululu wala ka kanta APRC ko nya opero kono fo karo fo carte fayta wo fane ya nya opero lo mena e ko ya bula ya samba mail tu docteur ko nta bula la nasta mail tu ni nyimbe tembo meta na tata mail tu sanyin anya be tinyala iko ya bula je fo tilifula ya bula wofto docteur ye kenkente na fo carte fayta kabirin carte fayta ya bula ibiri ya carte fay aman hani lokun si drong posno nyin commence kaselala akono funuta asingo funuta na fonota ni fani ya mutate ya saba ni man tous paper ta yewo fonota ya saba da kono abuka fono buka kuntuno
sen na biri opere wato albenu loktano to fotemo mina poisono seletala
wato yembulale nata ta APRC kabirin tata APRC nata declare ko nyindali ata mekila no katu posno nyin ya mendiala ayaju so tinyal yamay mbe APRC ko lungo mena yate fenko keta nyin independent keta lungo mena yate Adam Baro kalindi independence stadium moto walu nemu docteur oli kayto dinna e ko ngasamba le Dakar nata ta mbije suyembula wali yembula walum kabirin tata suwo kono mbe suwo kono man talib tan folo wate bala kaytol pour kanala kaytol deda pour yena la kaytol deda nga samba leptane so mbole to mbije inata sasa nata dika kandal nata ta afrimen nga samba afrimen tilinani nga wole ka afrimen nata fo ko tol fananta jaranol wol wato le nata kayto de da kabri kayto de da nata samba Dakar data Dakar tilifula saba jango don wol fana yim paki nay ko ata mekla yem bulana nata be bañul leptani kabri be bañul leptano to don anata ba woletu abanta leptano bara be bana lumena walna la nyinju sofono
walu na jiso tani se jiso tandino
allo
assalamu alaikum
wa alaikum salam
Bakari Maro ngaje ko biri nyin ko be ke kam mo be la ni ku ya hitandi kan ita fanan dum kabiri ya je mbela man sakunda te mon ta nin bi ay mun ko ya
ndol kay nga bata so je bakele bawo nte kotoma wala la maronte wo mo oppositionol de ndol mo oppositionol de la maron nata bata dal so je bake katuwa mutalale ya samba ya chagi ya kuol kala fo ateleni solo sande nyol nata finti nyola wo findo kono nate be aris ye samba kabriye samba Usen Dabo nata fongo journalisol kilikacha do lan tol tata je wolune Usen Dabo fanamuta bidun tol kata kiti dulan katankana inatante famuta Usen Dabo la datole yen tol samba makati bidun bewole totem nga batal soto je back because domoro men kadina ni ladula waketa problem bat ndefa woni journaliste dol nana kajara ndele ka foko futo ni banko kake do fe woni banko kake nye futo ton kadom yo kenna bakel
so biri itabe num mail tu ko ay mang lanjura soto je
nga bata dal soto je because man kende ya soto nkoro ma fana nara je wonara idan din tol bela je ko wala fongo yen tol fintini because yen tol wo ye mandila wala naje kana kiti wala mansa konko nata kaytol safen tol men be jen tolu ye inga diela anata di Yusufa Chamule ntol fintindi kaytan din nam tol mandara fare yen samba makati mbe otani nalla inara tol bonni nam makati yen samana mail tuja mail tu dulare be je ya jama ka fa damen na go na 5 star hotel confinement mol men nyanta fala wala el katara woto yen tol bonni makati doro yen dundi wala to
yo se lafta ke yalong victim center nga moy la jey ba fo kanko ifana be match straight from fo fenko ko protest ke ka jibe ka ke je ko ni yaje benata asa arrest wota do anyatra kana ke free man sete minister
yes wo nyanta kelale
katungo
wo nyanta kelale ay mella molka ba ende koroma ya posini ya fa yaje o kuo kama ya jamme nyanda luwa nda manken tol doronte mbe ajele ya jamme menke jam hani nyinu menu ka APRC me pamero dile ben hadaika kado mo hada nyirol o manke protested
ke abaraka bage